I'm done giving guys that I meet on Hinge my Instagram. They all ask for it for some reason, but this one guy, we exchanged some messages and he asked for my Instagram. I was like, sure, whatever. He was asking when I was free and I said Saturday. So I'm like, okay, maybe we'll hang out on Saturday. We didn't make any concrete plans or anything. It's not even Saturday yet. But he's looking at all my Instagram stories. I don't really know this person, so I don't love the idea of someone I don't know, but I might go out with, like, looking at my stuff. Either way, our conversation was totally normal, like bland even, just because I don't, we were gonna go out tomorrow. I go on Hinge today and he unmatched me.
Congratulations!
So here we have a case of a man who's being a hell of a lot smarter than your average modern woman. It's a guy who's clearly an 8 or a 9, slid into her DMs and got to talking, but because your average modern woman is about as honest as a corporate lawyer at an all-you-can-drink meet and greet, he asked for her Instagram so he could get a better insight into her mind. Now she's thinking she can just post whatever she wants online and think that it won't come back to bite her in the ass, which is clearly not the case here. He took one look at her social media profile and smelled the distinct scent of pure, unadulterated psycho and immediately cut ties before she would expect him to buy her surf and turf. They can't help but tell on themselves all the time, and the hilarious part is they have no idea that they're doing it, even though they are documenting every single one of their red flags in real time.
So yeah, he unmatched me and I was like, what? So I go to my Instagram because he was looking at all my following me, everything, whatever. And of course he unfollowed me. So I'm like, okay. And then I'm curious, right? So I go to look in my following and he's not there. He removed himself from my following list.
I am Jack's complete lack of surprise.
Okay, I'm kind of confused here. What exactly were you looking for, woman? Here's a man who obviously knows how to do his homework. He didn't make concrete plans with you because he needed to do some research to see if you were insane in the membrane or just a dullard. And once he collected that intel, he turned around and realized that you weren't worth the waste of his time, which is clearly more valuable than yours. So he got rid of your socials and went on to the next chick, as is his wont. And you're reaching the point in your life where rejection is going to start becoming more and more commonplace. And that's because you have nothing to offer and you expose all of your dirty laundry on the internet. You have yet to realize that once you put that crap online, it's there forever, and yes, it really does matter what you post. But I guess we can forgive you for not really knowing that. You are a modern woman. You're not exactly on speaking terms with common sense here.
But then I'm even more curious, right? I go to look at my stories that I know he had watched. He's not there anymore. He blocked me. He blocked me. I don't know why. And I don't think it's because I post pictures of my butt, okay? This man's a photographer. I looked at his Instagram. The majority of it was naked women. He said he was super down to do a photo shoot. It was so normal. Our conversation was so normal. I have absolutely no idea what I did to get this man to block me. I have other dating stories in my back pocket right now. It's going great this week.
Now,
Idiots! It's simple!
Sister, that's called a portfolio. You see, this man is obviously a successful photographer, and I'm willing to bet that he's most likely self-employed. So naturally, in order to drum up business, he must post his best photos of mostly naked women to sell the idea that he can make these women look sexy. That is how he makes his money. He obviously blocked you because your social media history, combined with your somewhat average appearance, made him realize that whatever juice he had, he wasn't willing to let you squeeze it, if you catch my meaning and get my drift. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You're either boring, self-centered, or you don't jive with him on a political or cultural level. Either way, you aren't worth it. End of story. But you are so convinced that you are the most perfect woman to ever be perfect that you cannot fathom the idea of a profoundly successful man not wanting you. It's no mystery, woman. You just suck, and not in the good way.
This is just so shocking. I mean, I must just be so monumentally naive.
If dating for love isn't working out for you, date for money. I'm being dead serious. My dating approach has been unbelievably pure for my entire life. Never cared about the financial status of the guy.
Liar! Liar! Liar!
Have dated people with less money than me. Have always gone 50-50 in relationships.
Liar! Liar! Liar!
Has never been financially taken care of by a guy. I just wanted to fall in love and have a genuine partnership and connection with someone.
Liar, liar, liar.
And guess where that's gotten me? Used, taken advantage of, single.
What's that, shit? It's a shit smell. Is that you? It smells like pawpaw.
Hold up! You mean to tell me that you were able to somehow suppress your natural desire for hypergamy? That you were magically able to convince yourself that you were only interested in love and not resources? And you're going to sit there and tell me with a straight face that you honestly didn't care about money despite the fact that you've been bombarded with propaganda messaging from literally everywhere that told you directly that you deserve a Disney princess ending? Yeah, I'm calling bull hockey, sister. That nose ring tells a different story. You could have easily had a guy like that, but you only get this way by chasing Chad, Tyrone, Raphael, Takeda, Chang, Wang, and Butch. Most average men would have treated you with a certain level of dignity, class, and respect, but we already know that those men don't count because of your standards. So stop lying to us, lady, because you clearly can't even lie to yourself without screwing it up.
My ex, who I thought I was in love with at the time, we split everything 50-50, including rent. We lived together. That he was never gonna marry me. He was never gonna settle down with me. Every guy who I've had genuine feelings for has just hurt me. I got to the point where I just stopped dating. I was like, men are just ruining my life. Until I realized, what if I just start thinking like a man? What if I just start getting what I need out of these relationships instead of worrying about the genuine love and connection that we share? You don't get to choose if that's gonna be there or not anyways.
Lady, there is no possible way you can think like a man. That actually requires a minor amount of intelligence, a complete abolition of the victim mentality, and the power to take accountability for your actions, all of which you clearly lack. It's all in the language, sweetheart. It's always the men who hurt you. It's always the men who won't commit to you. It's always the men who use you. But I hate to break it to you, sister. If you're constantly trying to get with men who want very little to do with you, then you cannot be surprised when they don't become interested in wifing you up. It doesn't work that way. Men have more to lose when it comes to these relationships, and these men aren't willing to risk much with you because, well, if you had nothing to offer, it would be an improvement. So why should he want to offer you anything in return?
So if you stumble upon love, amazing. But if you don't, you're still getting something out of the deal. I don't know why it took me so long to figure this out, but if you are a lover girl that keeps getting burned, hey, what if you just got what you needed from men? How about that? How about you try that and let me know how it goes?
Great plan.
Thank you.
He likes your plan, Chief.
Woman, you're single, and you will always be single, and that's because you are more or less refusing to see men as humans. In your eyes, a man is only a cyborg, put on this earth to give you things. He has no emotions, no feelings, and no real needs. And the second he shows anything like that, you're immediately turned off because if you're catering to his needs, then yours aren't getting met. And then all of a sudden, this man is causing you pain because he had the nerve to want something from you. That's why this plan of yours will never work. You are completely forgetting the fact that the things that you desire belong to the man. And it's that man's choice as to whether or not he wants to give them to you. And he clearly doesn't in this case. Why in the hell should he? He'd be better off giving his time and attention to a tree. And you're better off giving this grief to the bears. I'm pretty sure there's one out there who's willing to give you a hug. Maybe. I have yet to meet a bear that desperate. Good luck.
How are y'all going on coffee dates? As someone who just went on a coffee date, I don't understand it. Literally, the second the coffee touches my lips, I'm running to the bathroom. Like, it's literally a laxative. Not to be TMI, but how are people going on coffee dates and being so casual about it? Like, what?
I can see down your shirt.
Ladies, stop lying to us because nobody is dating you. Nobody's buying you coffee. You dress like a low-class Avenue stroller and you sell spicy content on OnlyFreaks. The only kind of men who are willing to date you are the ones who are willing to oogle at your... The hell? Ah, crap.
And now, a special television event.
I honestly don't know how I keep getting into these messes. And I don't know how long I was out. It could have been hours or a few days. Who knows? I was just awoken by that distinct stench that can only be made by some freshly squeezed gerbil milk. everything seemed kinda hazy, which is bound to happen when some intergalactic ne'er-do-well treats the back of your favorite head like a set of bongo drums at a 3-year-old's birthday party. But I didn't need everything to come into focus to know what was happening. Cody and his legion of genetically altered Amish warriors have tracked me down, and those chickens have come to roost. I honestly don't know what's up with this jerk. Even though I have incontrovertible proof that I'd never signed a stupid sponsorship deal to peddle his ill-begotten milk products, he still insists that the contracts identify as being signed, therefore the contracts are still legally binding. He told me he would let me go if I just agreed to sponsor his new line of elk milk, and I knew what that meant. That meant having to travel 87 hours trying to sell this crap to somebody who never wanted to buy it in the first place. So you know me, right? I ain't peddling no milk for nobody, and I said it just like that. You know, like a badass. And then with a silent smile, he stood up and motioned to one of his Amish henchmen, who opened up a massive projector screen. He had this massive locked metal box. He unlocked it and opened it up and said, "One last chance. Sell the milk or face the consequences." And what were the consequences, you might ask? Why, none other than a 9-hour binge gauntlet of the TV show Charmed. Inside that box was a massive DVD collection of the show, and he was toying with me on what season he was going to pick. Now, you need to understand something. This is considered a war crime in almost every sector. Cody was crossing the line, and he knew it. I was in trouble. But guess what happened? 3 large kicks were being hit at the back of the barn door until it swung open. Cody took one look at the man who defaced his barn and realized how screwed he was. There's only one man who can strike that much fear into the heart of Cody, and that man was none other than Youre Weird, the most dangerous man in the universe. This man's legend is beyond compare. So what makes him so dangerous, you might ask? Well, it's not that he took on 50 Terkashi slime demons with his bare hands, and it's not because he surfs regularly on the fire oceans of Terrellia 7 without any protection, which he totally does, and it's not because he once single-handedly rescued an entire colony's worth of terraformers when a gang of Braconian pranksters decided to use their earthquake lasers to try to shake the planet apart for kicks, which he had, twice. Although this was the stuff of legend, there was one thing that made him especially dangerous. This man had a high-powered lawyer who was incredibly bored and on retainer. And in classic Youre Weird fashion, he just walks right in like he owns the place, right? He's making the genetically altered Amish warriors cower in fear of eternal litigation. In his left arm, a stack of manila folders packed to the brim with forms, contracts, and other goodies. And in the other, a simple, standard issue ballpoint pen. He slams the paperwork on Cody's lap and tells him that if he's gonna mess around with Locke, then he's messing around with the most dangerous man in the universe. He hands Cody the pen and tells him he's going to have to mess with the paperwork. Cody had 2 options: let Locke go or spend the next 4 years filing licensing applications. Now, if there's one thing that Cody knew about Youre Weird, is that Youre Weird does not bluff. He doesn't have to, ever. The stare down lasted about 3 seconds, and I'm telling you, gentlemen and gents, the room was so quiet, you could hear Cody's balls shrivel up faster than a modern woman's skin after the Botox wears off. He was cooked, and he knew it. Cody might be a psycho, but even he's not dumb enough to take on the most dangerous man in the universe. So he packed up the Charm DVDs and ordered his Amish henchman to cut my ropes and let me go. We walked out of that barn with our heads held high, and it made me thank the intergalactic space god Quill Cooligar, all hail, that I got a buddy like this who has my back. He gave me a lift back to my space cruiser, and as we hung out in his galley, we played some intergalactic space pool and started to brainstorm ideas for a massive Rube Goldberg machine we were going to build over at Skeeter's house. Now, I don't want to spoil anything for you, but I'll give you a little teaser. Laptop dominoes falling onto a bowling ball cannon. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty sweet. Because that's the thing about Youre Weird. He may be the most dangerous man in the universe, but he's also one of Skeeter's best buddies, and that's no easy feat. Sadly, as they say, all good things must come to an end. He unfortunately had to drop me off quickly because he had to head over to the ice planet of Xeneron to test out his afterburners by flying through a massive ice cave. When I asked why he was doing that, he just gave me one look and said, "Locke, buddy, it's because I'm dangerous." He then offered the gesture of the fist bump of brotherhood and then flew off into the cosmos. And it left me feeling like I knew I had a man who had my back through thick and thin. And I already knew that Cody was planning his next dastardly scheme. But with bros like Youre Weird, all I know is we ain't gonna be selling none of Cody's milk. This chapter of Cody's milk saga was brought to you courtesy of Youre Weird, the newest member of the Bounty Board. Thank you so much for your support, sir. You are truly a certified gent in every sense of the word. And if anyone else is interested in supporting the channel and seeing more content like this, then check out the Bounty Board over on Patreon, where you can get access to exclusive content like this and even become part of the show. The link is in the pinned comment down below. And once again, a special thank you to Youre Weird. This man truly deserves to sit shotgun in the immaculate minivan of the intergalactic space god Gumblicard. All hail!
I just need to rant for a minute. I just woke up. If you're snapping a guy with a girlfriend, shut the f up. Shut the f up. When me and my boyfriend first got together, there were girls snapping him like bikini pictures. Are you fuck you? And even after a while, there were still girls snapping my man in like bikini pictures and mirror pictures. Stop. Like, you are the most disrespectful female ever. And like, don't even say, oh, why was he snapping back? You snapped him first. You knew he had a girlfriend. And you're still... No! Literally, go find another man because he's mine, not yours.
This is scary.
Lady, I'm willing to bet that this quote-unquote boyfriend of yours is on the verge of leaving you anyway. Here's the deal. There are only two types of men who get bikini pics from women. The first is an octogenarian with a boatload of money, and the second is Chadnam PI. And when you have a man like this, then you need to understand something. There are many of you, but only one of him. And regardless of how much you think this man is your property, there will always be women who are going to throw themselves at him in hopes of taking him from you. It's a game that modern women play, and you don't get to change the rules just because your fifis get hurt. Making all sorts of crazy demands on the internet isn't going to help you. It just proves that this man is banging an insecure crazy woman, and all that does is extend the lease on your apartment in Dumpsville, woman. It's a quaint little village where you're constantly going to be living before your train arrives to take you to the wall.
Wah, wah. Like, you're so weird. You're so weird. Literally, if you just snap a guy with a girlfriend, not even my man, like, if you snap a guy with a girlfriend, you're weird. Or if you're a guy and snaps a girl who has a boyfriend, you're weird. You're weird. Can you just be respectful? There are 8 billion people in this world. If there's like how many fish in the sea and you pick my fish? No, he's mine, not yours. Go find your fishy. Like, ew, you're like, ew, I hate you and you and you. Because why are you snapping my man? Or literally, I'm vouching for any girl who... Just stop, you're weird, you're weird.
Smelly fish.
And it's not a cod.
No, woman, this man is clearly not yours. It's just your turn. If this guy actually gave a hoot about your feelings, he wouldn't be bothering even looking at these photos. He would be too busy blocking the snaps and moving on with his life with you. You're freaking out because whatever you have with this guy, which isn't nearly as much as you claim, is not nearly as solid as you tell yourself. So you decide the most rational thing to do is film yourself recording a barely coherent, angry rant at a woman who's thirsting for this guy, and it's literally the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning. Yeah, you do realize this guy's gonna see this, right? And once he hears that you're referring to him as a fish, he's gonna reconsider his options and probably start talking to the bikini girl a little bit more seriously. Because it's not a smart idea to call a man a fish when that particular stench is coming from you, sweetheart. This episode was brought to you in part by the generosity of the men over at the Bounty Board on Patreon. Thank you so much for your support, gentlemen. I love doing this job, and your support makes it all the more possible. Thank you once again. All hail! And of course, you can always support the channel by liking the video. If you're new here, subscribing to the channel, or double checking to make sure your subscriptions are still active, as YouTube loves to do what YouTube does. You can also share this video, leave comments, and there's more than one way to give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much for checking out the new video, gentlemen and gents, and until next time, peace out, homies.